everybody, Grace Ames here with week 6 of Colonial Learning Gardens. I know you're used to seeing me and Brian, but Brian's going to join us in just a few minutes. I wanted to give you a sneak peek of something you can look forward to because I know it's that time of year, that time of the growing season for your gardens that might seem just a little boring. So here is our zinnia patch. This is me standing in our cut flower garden. There are a lot of flowers around us, many of which are pollinators, but I wanted to show you a lot of things that you can look forward to. This is what our zinnias look like. We have buds, which yours won't have just yet because we just got true leaves a couple of weeks ago. So they're gonna grow, they're gonna be a little taller, and then they'll start budding out. And then once they bud, this actually opens up nicely. You can see this one opening a little more. And then if you look at this one, you see the petals starting to open up completely, or peek out rather. And then it fully blooms and you'll get a beautiful flower. And I've got a nice little friend here, just a little spider, not harmful, hanging out. But you'll get a beautiful bloom. And maybe you remember, maybe you don't, but we talked about several different parts of a flower very early on in week 1. So you can kind of see that this flower, unlike the hibiscus, has much smaller parts for reproduction. So you can see the stamen and all of the pieces here and the ovum on the bottom, but they're just a little smaller. So our insect friends have to work a little harder to move the pollen around. Here you can see one of our pollinator friends. She's working hard to make sure all of our plants get their pollen moved around. She gets snacks and she'll take it back to the hive to feed the colony. Let's go find Botanical Brian and talk a little more about our gardens. Brian, oh my goodness, I've been looking for you. So I'm not gonna lie, I did actually open this week without you. We were down in the flower field.
Hey, that's cool with me. That's cool with me.
Yeah, so I was showing everybody what to look forward to. The blooms, the buds. We even met some pollinator friends and some friends that were maybe not so friendly. But here we are back at our gardens. What are we looking at today?
But I am a little jealous because that's my favorite place in the world is the cut flower garden. You went there without me, but that's okay. That's okay.
I'll take you
as long as our friends got to see the cut flower garden, I'm happy. All right, so I was just looking at our gardens and I noticed that we have some fungus on some of our leaves.
Oh no, there's fungus among us.
So a lot of you may be experiencing this, and what that is often when the zinnias are in too much shade or they're too wet, they'll get a little bit of fungus. And I think I might have kept mine in a little bit too much shade and kept them a little bit too wet. So I moved them into a sunny area and I'm drying them out a little bit in between waterings, and I'm gonna pinch a few of these off. Now some people might use fungicides or something like that, but those fungicides are bad for bees and they don't like it. So I tend to try to not use any type of pesticides, and I just pick off my bad leaves, and the leaves will grow back and the fungus will subside as I get it into more sun.
Okay, Brian, so we're gonna move ours into sun, and I know you said that with ours we've been keeping them a little too wet.
Yep.
Because so many things here are just watered daily all the time. So we had ours in the nursery, but for those people at home, it's really hot and we keep talking about it. We keep talking about it, I know. But the most important thing is
Water, water, water.
water. So if I were to stick my finger down in here and I felt dry soil, I would
Get to watering.
Right, so make sure you're sticking your finger in your soil, or remember, you can go back to week 1, week 2, and we were talking about dry soil versus wet soil. Okay, some other things. I wanted to take you on an adventure. I know I didn't take you to the flower garden, but we have flowers, right? They're not flowering yet, but these plants, the parsley and the fennel, those are edible, right?
Yeah, they are.
Edible means that you and I can eat them.
And caterpillars can eat them.
And caterpillars too.
Yeah.
Can we go check out some other edible plants that pollinators like?
Sure.
All right, let's go. Okay, so Brian, we talked about our herbs being edible, and I just wanted to pop out here really quick because we're in our garden.
Yeah.
And we talked about food being made easy and made possible by pollinators. So what do we have here?
We've got some tomatoes. We have tomato blooms, and the pollinators have visited those blooms, so now we have tomatoes. If you don't have pollinators, you don't get tomatoes.
So this plant in front of us, what is this, and does it need a pollinator?
That is an onion, and that's one of those plants that do not need a pollinator.
But it grows a flower.
It does grow a flower. Oh, look at this. There is a little bitty ladybug in there.
Ladybugs are awesome to have in the garden, right?
Yes, so ladybugs eat an insect called an aphid. And aphids are terrible insects that really are bad for your plants. And the ladybugs, that's one of their favorite things to eat. So that's really cool that we have ladybugs out here.
That's great. Let's look at some herbs real quick. All right, guys, so we looked forward to our flowers, and here's parsley, which we're gonna look forward to. This is a really tasty snack. It's gonna be great chopped up on salads or on a lot of your foods. Even if you like pasta and you don't really like veggies, this is something you're gonna be looking forward to. But Brian brought around one of his favorites.
Now, this is lovage, and this is another, looks like parsley, but it tastes like celery. And I really like it in salads, but the thing that I love is both of these plants, also the black swallowtail caterpillar loves them. So they will lay their eggs on this plant, the egg will hatch into a caterpillar, the caterpillar will eat the plant just like they're gonna eat your parsley, and then turn into a chrysalis, and then turn into a butterfly.
That's so cool. Hey guys, thanks for joining us for week 6. Let us know how you're doing. If you want to try to grow new things, it's never too late to do that, right? So experiment outside of your garden, post pictures for us, and we'll see you next week.